Hello and good day to you. This is the Pontiac 400 GTO engine in my 78 Trans Am that's been cloned to a 79 for some reason. Anyway, my goal is to take off Edelbrock intake and carburetor and this high-tech fuel gauge system. That's all coming off. But this particular video is removing the intake, Edelbrock, and carburetor and reinstalling in the parts car factory correct intake. However, the intake is missing the factory carburetor. So let's get busy. Quick question for the comments. What is this little knob on the side of the radiator shroud? You know, full picture of it. What went there? Is this the wrong one? Is it the right one? What went there? This, I would say, is the most original 78. This is a nice 78, but it's been altered so much. This one does not have that little nodule on the radiator shroud. Which one's right? If this one's right, I'm good. If this one's right, I want to know what that little knob is. So let me know in the comments. Now I've got to take off this EGR vacuum thingy to get to the bolt underneath and get the intake off. So yes, there's the junkyard intake in all its glory. It's been painted, looks quite different. It's still old, but yeah, it cleaned up nice. Yes, indeed, Jags was able to hook me up with a factory correct Pontiac quad that I need for the spread bore on the factory intake. The Edelbrocks are mostly square bore, and quick history, spread bore for the big secondaries and square bore is just 4 little holes or those 2 planes, but the carburetor itself, the square bore carburetor, is 4 little holes like that, square bore. So quick history. Okay, my YouTube friends, Pontiac 6X heads. What is that gap? That heat riser gap right there in the center, above the paper towel in the very center. What is that heat riser thing there? The gasket didn't cover it, so that means it's open to fresh air. Someone tell me what goes there. Or on the other hand, this factory stock one, well, maybe it's bigger, you know, right there in the center. It goes, obviously it goes down right here and flat across. Oddly enough, the Edelbrock one goes down right here and has that little bump, but some reason that didn't cover that hole. So someone tell me what's the right thing to do to cover that, or just what it does. Just got this 42-piece thread chaser. Specifically, the size I need is at 3/8. This is not a threader. This is a tap just to clean the threads so it won't rethread. So I'm going to use that 3/8 to chase the heads and clean those threads out, especially that bolt. Oh my gosh, that thing needs cleaned up. So yeah, new purchase, the correct thing to do, chase them threads. Good thing I'm chasing the threads, because I found out I got to retap these water ports. Can you see back here? I got to retap this one and probably that one on the other side. All right, YouTube fans, I figured something out. Count the holes. See the blue one back there above that hose? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you look at the intake and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're not using that back hole. Same thing on that was the Edelbrock. This is the GM. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're not using that back hole. That's why the threads are weird. But these front 2 threads where the water ports are, they did need chased, and that just would have messed up the torque value, you know, because the crud, mineral water deposits get on there. So I'm glad I'm chasing those threads. are the bolts that came out of the intake, and they all need chased. So I went ahead and bought new ones, but it says 1977. I got a 78. It's got 4 with this little extension thing. Got one here. Yeah, I got one. I don't know how many the 78 is supposed to have, but I'm sure that's the only difference. So I got a new tool, so I'm still going to chase these because, well, I'm going to use them again somewhere. So I'm learning as I go. I watched some YouTube videos about intakes on Pontiacs, and they said copy the gasket and port this out. You know, I can do it on the intake because I can get all the crumbs, the metal. I can just wash it out with a hose. So I'm going to show you down in here where I've already ground away and got these. They said don't do the interior. I'm probably still going to catch this edge, but they said don't do it. But I'm gonna just grind it down a little bit. I've done this one on my left. This one here, you see how it is. The one on the right, though, clearly still needs done. And that's what I'm going to do now. So here is the results of putting the new intake on. I'm really glad I'm going in this direction. To each their own. I have plenty of work to do in the near future to get all the pretty stuff on. Chrome valve covers, the Rochester carburetor, the fuel line appropriate down to the mechanical fuel pump down there. Get the AC all bracketed back up. I got to make a decision if I'm going to change the wiring harness out, because they've got something cut in over there, and the fan doesn't blow, you know, cold or hot. It just doesn't work. I don't know, maybe it's under the dash. But yeah, my parts car over here, I got a wiring harness in there. I just take it off and put it in here. That's why I got it. So yeah, this concludes the intake. It's snug. I gotta wait an hour to torque it down and just finish it up. The color didn't quite match. Not worried about it. This isn't an OEM. It's a Pontiac blue, and I'm happy. I need to get a good picture while I can of that WT on there. That WT means manual shift. The W does. And then the casting number in the back, you know, back there, passenger side behind the head, shows it to be a 1970 400 engine, to where they didn't start stamping the 400 on the driver's side. So yeah, that is a 400 out of a GTO, because when you run these numbers, it tells you exactly the car it came out of. 0109261. That's the block. The heads, I believe, are authentic 77 or 78. I'm sorry. I've seen that somewhere. It's not important. Okay, so there we go. Stay tuned, man. I got plenty more to do, and give you a quick show. This came off of it. This someone cut it in half, you know, so they could fit that in there. I got this off the parts car. It's going on. Probably paint it up a little bit. Good old eBay got me a new fan shroud there. Valve covers are in the house. Other pretties are in the house. Still need to drill this hole in the back of the Rochester carburetor. This is a nice big one, 650 CFM, and got that from Jegs. Man, they're proud of it. Like $800 for that thing. But yeah, this is all going on. I hope to get all the vacuum lines correct and looking just as good as we can. So stay tuned for all the quick videos of just little upgrades. You know, that's going to be quick stuff. And then pretty soon the engine compartment will be done, including that wiring harness. Close the hood, and then it's either interior or front and rear bumpers. After front and rear bumpers, it's going to get painted. And it's going to get painted black and gold. And I already have the gold SE dash insert and the shift lever insert. So yeah, plenty of stuff to follow up on. If you subscribe, I'll be glad to hear your comments, and hopefully give me a little bit of support and advice, because this is all new to me. This was a waste of money. I got this 78 front end here, and it's just beyond. I won't get into it, but yeah. So I'm taking the front end off my parts car over there. If that light will let you see through it. Yeah, this is an authentic 78, you know. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm not here to authenticate anything. You just got to believe me at this point. Okay, bye. Till the next video. Thank you, sir and ma'am. I am going to put a picture of a beautiful black, I believe it's a 78, maybe a 77, but it's a black and gold. Just a picture of a Trans Am that it's just a beautiful car. So I'm using that picture to emulate what this is going to be. When I'm done, in just a few months. I hope it to emulate the final pictures of this episode. Thanks for staying tuned, and off to the next one.